Welcome to Beyond Our Focus. I'm Stefan, this is Amanda, and this is Breaking Prisms, where we go over the Twilight Zone and Black Mirror. Today is going to be the second episode of Black Mirror called 15 Million Merits. I will say I enjoyed this episode quite a bit. Probably more than the first episode, because it was so dark. It was just so depressing and sad. This one it's not the happy episode, but it's also not the first episode.
No. Definitely not the first episode. Nothing really.
So, we're in, we can assume a future dystopia kind of world-ish, maybe?
I would say it has to be, unless there is some little testing pod over in the world we don't know about.
I mean, during the episode, they talk about there are definitely other places like this one.
Okay.
She wanted to go where her sister was.
Oh, that's right.
And it was full, so she had to come here, wherever here was. I guess it's assumed it's underground. I don't know. I guess it could be in a building, but I don't know. I felt like it was underground. I guess there was no windows, there was nothing. You're just in this place.
Well, when it came down to it, they had to not have windows because everything was a screen.
Yes. Everything is a screen. It's such a weird place. They don't ever really say why they're there or what they're doing there. Or, you don't get a lot of explanation in this episode at all. We just start off with the main character, Bing, where he wakes up. He's completely surrounded by screens in his, 5x5 room?
That's what it looked like, jeez.
Big enough for a bed, a tiny sink and toilet, and that was it.
Yes.
Actually, I can't even say there was a toilet. I didn't even see a toilet. There was a tiny sink for sure, because they showed him brushing his teeth on multiple occasions. But
well, no, there was a toilet because at one point he went like this, and you see a little bar go, a little bar popped on the screen like it was flushing. So
maybe it goes into the wall. I don't remember. I don't remember seeing one, but it's a tiny room. It's about the size you're seeing on the screen right now. That's about all there is. It's so small. It's not even funny.
First off, before we go any farther, how much do we want to summarize before we go into spoilers? Because we usually warn against that during the beginning of the episode, and I think we just skipped right into it.
Do we? I don't even remember. Did we do that with Twilight?
With the Twilight Zone, yeah. We tried to do just a summary of what was going on, and then...
All right. Well, I've said very little so far, so we'll give a quick summary and an overview before we jump into spoilers. I hadn't even thought about it.
I know we at least did that, especially for the first episode of Black Mirror, because there was a lot of spoilers going on.
All right. Well, jump on that before I say too much. We already said you follow Bing. We're in this weird world surrounded by lots and lots of screens, where their main objective is to ride these fitness bikes.
Yeah. That's pretty much what it looks like, is a fitness bike, except
there's a screen in front of you.
Yes.
So you can watch TV.
And as you bike, you gain what I assume is merits?
Yeah. Merits. As you merits. You gain merits, which is their form of money.
Yes.
And that seems to be your life. And the other thing you can the whole point of this episode is there's a bunch of shows, and you can try out to get on one of these shows. And he meets this girl who just shows up. Her name's Abby. He really likes her, and she goes on the show, and that's what the whole point of this episode is.
Pretty much, yes.
And to get on the show, it costs 15 million merits. The name of the episode.
I think that's about all you can say without really going into deep detail. Yeah. So go check the episode out. It's on an hour and
1 minute or something. Yeah. I think it's right at an hour.
So yeah, it's kind of a shorter one because wasn't the last one?
The last one was 45 minutes.
Oh, okay. Well,
so it was actually longer
than the last one, but definitely longer than Twilight Zone.
Yeah, a lot longer than Twilight Zone.
But yes, go check that out and then come back because we want to hear what you think.
Exactly.
And you'll definitely hear what we think because
that's the whole point of this.
Yeah. We can't shut up, okay?
So what did you think of the episode?
Okay. Overall, I actually I enjoyed it because, like you said, it was lighter than the last one. Yes, there was tones of darkness in it. I don't know how well I would do in that world as far as being enclosed the whole time, riding a bike for the rest of your life. Like, not only that, but it would be like living in a live YouTube channel. Like, because you're sleeping and ads just start popping up, okay? Like, you can't stop it, and it costs you money to skip them.
Yes. Everything cost money.
Yes. Brushing your teeth took money. Washing your hands took money.
Anything you did cost money.
Yes.
Except riding the bike, and that's how you made money.
But, so pretty much, while you're riding your little bike, you can watch different shows. They have, like, a porn show. They have Hot Shots, which is the singing, like, competition show. They have...
make fun of fat people.
Yes, apparently.
That was...
that seemed like it was. It was, like, some weird game show where you just... people got sprayed with water.
Yeah, as long as they were fat.
Oh, okay, well...
I mean, that's a running theme through this episode.
And also a video game, which, with all the technology going around, you were sitting there shooting like cube people. Okay?
Yeah, the graphics they use in this episode, not particularly high quality, but I'm sure it's just because it was made for this. It's not what... If we're this far in the future, it would look a lot better than what we get in this episode, but I get why. It is an episode.
Well, yeah.
They had a budget. They had to make things happen.
Which is another thing, is that how you interact with these channels, how you exist in this world, is pretty much through a me?
Yes,
like
a me.
Is it like if you...
From Nintendo, a me, an avatar, a walking, really bad-looking 3D representation of yourself.
Where just like that, just like real, me's, you can change what they're wearing, change their hairstyle, change all this stuff. Of course, it costs real money, which you're just going to make back on your little bike anyways, but...
Well, how much are we spoiling right now?
I don't
think we got there yet, so...
No.
We'll just ask what you thought. We're just keep getting further into details, Eventually this is going to be like...
Well, I mean, overall, as I said, I did enjoy the episode. Like, it's... Especially, how it ended, like, you're weirding me out, like...
you just keep going with details. I'm like, how many details are we giving before we jump into, hey, this is spoilers.
We already did that, remember?
Did we?
Yes.
I didn't say we did spoilers.
Remember?
No, I didn't.
Remember, I stopped, said, go watch the episode, and come back.
I didn't know that was the cue for let's go spoilers. All right, well, we're in spoilers, apparently. I was unaware. I also really liked the episode. We're just continue talking. We're going to spoil everything. So, I was unaware of this. I didn't know that's what we had moved into. I was just going to get a final verdict before moving into that.
I quit my job.
Well, it is what it is.
So, go ahead.
Yes. We got Bing, who we find out in the episode his brother died and left him a big chunk of these merits. They don't know if they said how many, but a huge amount of what he has right now. We don't also hear how long he's been here personally.
No.
We know he's been here for a little while, which is still strange. We don't know why anyone's here. I mean, it almost seems like it's a prison.
Yeah.
And they're working off a debt, but they're also making money, but they can go to the ones they want unless they're full.
I don't know. It's confusing because does it ever say what happens when it hits zero? Like when they have no money? Are they just not able to live, or I don't know. Did it ever say what happens?
No, I think you run out. You just mean you're not brushing your teeth. You're not getting water. You have to get back on the bike, make some money to do something.
Which I think it was only like 3 merits or so to brush your teeth.
Yeah. Well, that's something else. During him saving every penny, he used 1 merit, and he got him like just a hair of toothpaste on the toothbrush. Oh so yes. We see him. Everyone looks miserable. We get introduced to the bikes. Interesting bikes. We get introduced to the douchebag sitting next to him the whole episode.
He didn't seem like he was, not having fun with his life. He seemed to enjoy doing this.
Yeah, he really seemed to enjoy it. Then we got to see the guy behind him, the fat guy,
Yeah.
who was having issues with his bike. Until we get to one day and he's not there anymore.
Yes.
And he's become the janitor. I guess you can get downgraded to the janitor if you don't want to ride the bike. Do you get paid for the janitor's job? I don't know. Are you slave labor at that point? I'm not real sure. But because he's a vacancy from the bike, we get introduced to Abby.
Yes.
Who our main character Bing falls for almost instantly.
He
And then even more so once he hears her singing.
Yes.
In the bathroom, which is apparently a co-ed bathroom.
I noticed that too, because it was like, he was sitting there just, washing his hands and stuff, and he's like, at first when I first, heard him or heard her, I thought maybe it was in a different area, but no, she just walks out of one of the stalls, and you're like, okay.
Hey, we're in the future, we've moved beyond having to have male and female, or in this prison, and they don't care. I don't know which one it is.
I don't know either.
So, he falls hard for her very quickly after hearing her singing.
Yes. Well, it's like, it makes, in a way, it does make sense, because here is a guy who has all the merits, all the money, pretty much, he doesn't want for anything, he can skip whatever.
Yeah.
Because every day he goes and sits on the bike anyways, so it's like, even if he decides to skip all the ads,
which they force you to watch.
Yes.
If you don't want to pay money, you close your eyes. They know you closed your eyes. And you have to open your eyes and resume watching the ad. Or you can...
Yeah.
And it'll skip, and you'll pay 500 merits or whatever it is to skip the ad.
Yes.
So you can get back to whatever you were trying to do before. Whether playing a game or watch something particularly interesting.
Yes, and the bad thing about that is that it'll play one ad, the example in this episode was he was playing a game, and right in the middle of his game, the ad pops up, and he's like, ugh. So he tries to get away as fast as he can, and then resumes playing, and almost, immediately afterwards, another one pops up, and he pretty much just gives up.
Yeah. I feel like they really want you to spend your merits on everything.
I don't know.
I wish this world would be fun to explore more. Just to know more things about what's going on. I mean, it's not the point of the episode. The episode has this very specific point. It puts us in a place we don't know anything about. It leaves a lot of questions if you actually want to know what's happening.
Yeah, because it makes you wonder. It's like, is this the entire world now? Is it just an underground kind of, oh, well, you weren't doing so successfully on top. Here, try this.
They mention, I think, a couple times that the bikes are powering everything. Are powering stuff. You're powering something. I forget the exact phrase they used, but because who does he see who he says this? I don't remember. He talks to someone about the bikes and stuff. It wasn't a long part, but he was the one who mentioned the powering of other things.
I don't remember.
But it's very, very interesting. So we get Abby, who...
Yeah, so pretty much it does make sense because he wants for nothing. He does the same thing every day, and then he finally has someone catch his eye, and it's real. It's not just, some person on a screen. Which
is interesting because there's another girl, which we don't know her name, but another girl who likes him. Obviously likes him. I mean, he goes to get an apple one day, and, it doesn't come out of the machine, but she's like, I know how to get it out of there. And she reaches up inside, and it's caught in there. Yeah. She gets it, and all's good. Which, of course, he turns right around and uses the same trick to impress his new girl, Abby.
And it's it's not even, that's not even the worst part. It's the fact that after he got the apple, the girl had mentioned something about, it's probably not even real anyways. It's probably grown in a lab.
And he says the same thing.
Yes, he says the exact same thing to Abby, and I'm like, oh my god.
Which proves he liked what she had to say.
Yes.
But he just wasn't very interested in her.
Yes.
But he was very interested in Abby.
Yes. And once again, he hears her sing. He just falls in love with that voice. And he makes the awkward decision to just suddenly be like, well, I heard you singing.
Well, I mean, they were in the bathroom together.
Yeah.
I mean, that happened. No matter what.
that scene was cute because like you can tell these people don't get a lot of social interaction.
No,
So-
they're around people all the time, but no one really talks to each other, it seems.
Yeah. So him trying to flirt was just, it was silly and it was cute because he kept trying to say things and they weren't quite coming out right, and she was just like, okay.
But they warm up to each other fairly quickly, at least in the episode, because we have to keep going in the episode. And without much hesitation, she's like, "Oh, have you ever thought about going to that singing place?" She's like, "Well, it costs, I think she says like 12 million merits." And he's like, and I don't know how quickly, but very quickly he offers to pay for it.
Pretty much, like she was like, I don't have that kind of money, and he's like, I'll do it.
I'll do it. I'll give you the 12 million. It's not a big deal. I got this from my brother who died.
Yeah.
I'm not doing anything with it anyway.
Yeah. And she pretty much tried to get him to do, like, why aren't you buying? He said, I want something real. He's like, I don't need new shoes. She's like, well, why don't you buy this, new screen, or why don't you do this?
In this world, you don't have anything physical.
Yeah.
Everything you have is digital, and mainly your avatar, and skipping ads, and playing little games.
Yeah.
But you have nothing physical. Everyone wears the same thing.
Yeah.
Everyone.
It's like a gray jumpsuit or something.
Yeah. It's all so very bland and simple, which reminds me of a prison again.
The jumpsuits. It's always the jumpsuits. Because they wear the gray jumpsuits, and then the other people wear the yellow or just like a yellow t-shirt and pants.
You're talking about the cleaners?
Yes.
People who the rude douchebag yells at every chance he gets. Oh, he was so annoying for the whole episode.
I was hoping he would have had a heart attack or something.
No, he rode that bike like a champ.
I wish he would have had a heart attack.
So, he offers that, eventually convinces he's going to do it for her.
Yeah.
He goes back to his room, he pulls up the ticket, and it's like, oh, it's 15 million merits now, not 12. Yeah. And he has like 15 million merits and like 10,000.
Yes.
Which is just barely. But screw it, I'm doing it.
So, it's pretty much kind of like an email system.
Yeah.
It pops up on his wall. He hits buy ticket and then send us a gift, and then it shows her in her room. It pops up, hey, this person. You see me kind of walk into the little screen, and it says Bing sent you a gift, and she of course opens it, and I think she sends me. I'm just gonna keep calling them me because I don't know how they're called, but sends me over to
Avatar is a good question too. We're worded for that.
It just looks so bad, though.
It looks like a me. It looks like a me, exactly like what Nintendo made. That's what it looks like.
But it sends her little avatar over to him and blows him a kiss and stuff like that. And even though he's been dropped to like 9,000, I can't remember the exact number, like 407 or something. But her little me avatar thing goes away. Porn starts playing on his screens, and he's just like, and just automatically sends it away, not even thinking, oh, I have less merits than I did before. He's just like,
Which it takes a big chunk of his merits.
Yeah.
I think the next thing we end up getting to is them heading there to this competition, which they ask, who was it, Salma? Was the previous winner? They keep advertising. She was one of the commercials. And it's like, well, do you want to be like Salma? She's like, oh, I wouldn't mind being like, like, say it to the screen, please. Like, well, I wouldn't mind being like Salma.
Oh, jeez. Like, yeah, it was kind of like you. It's kind of the, when everyone's like, well, you just won this. Where are you going to go? And then you're supposed to be like, Disneyland.
Or some crazy, I'm hoarding it. I'm never spending a penny of it. Don't ask me these questions.
Selma tells.
So Selma is right. Yeah. Awesome. So we do that, and then we go into the next room, where there are dozens of other competitors.
All singing at the same time.
All singing and all practicing, and it's like, oh my god. It's like, if there's discouragement, that room is discouragement. Like, oh, you're one of dozens of people trying to do this one thing to become popular and get your own show on one of these channels so you can live slightly nicer than what this is.
It would pretty much be like walking into America's Got Talent. Like, because, I mean, they always show clips of the room where everyone's sitting down and some people are practicing, and you're just like...
You've got to hope that you're better than them.
Yes.
That you're great and that they're not great.
Yes. And to top it off, you don't know how long these people are waiting. You kind of walk in and just kind of
We
think,
know how long one's been waiting.
Well, I mean, at first, you just see these people and you think, oh, everyone must have just decided to come today. And then next thing you know, the bouncer guy walks in and he's like, hey, they want a preview.
Yes. He's like, who do you, the brunette, the pretty one? Mm-hmm. Okay. And he grabs her.
Yeah.
And this other girl, I don't know her name either, but she has short white hair. She flips out because she said how she'd been waiting, what, like a week or a couple weeks?
I thought it was 2 weeks.
2 weeks,
I've been waiting here 2 weeks, and she just walks in and gets to go. Like,
so they're picking and choosing who they want to preview.
Well, that's the other thing is, and I know it's not that important, but once you step off the bikes and go into this area, are you stuck there until... Because
you're stuck. I feel like it's more of a return back over and over and every day. Because I still assume you have to go back to your room. Yeah. You still have to brush your teeth and do things. This wasn't meant for any of that. You can't stay in that room forever.
That's the thing is we don't know though, because it's like...
No, we don't know, but I would assume...
You buy a 15,000 merit or 15 million merit ticket, and it's like, is it a one entrance only? Like you drop it off at the desk and that's it?
Well, it can't be. I mean, you either stay in the room or you have to be able to keep coming back because no one has that much money. No, you don't have that much money.
Maybe there's a lot of inheritance, okay?
End up going to the back where they get a very special drink called Compliance.
Yes. Compliance.
What an interesting name for a drink.
Yes. She's pretty much is like, oh, no thanks. And she's like, yes, thanks. Like, here you go. Yeah, it's mandatory.
Yes, it's mandatory. You have to drink this Compliance. Which makes her kind of woozy.
Yeah, like even the effects of the show is kind of like... Ooh.
So, she gets out there in front of these 3 judges. One halfway night, one a complete douche, and the other one not particularly nice either.
Yeah, because pretty much as soon as she appears on screen and they're like, okay, so what are you going to be doing? And she's like, I'm going to be singing. And immediately the guy's like, show me the titties.
Yeah. Because apparently he runs the porn channel.
She's like, his first request is, can you lift your shirt? Mm-hmm. And at first you're like, what? And then next thing you know, he's like, I need to see him.
Yeah. Because again, it seems they each run a particular show, and they're judging kind of if they want to bring you on their show. And there's so many singers, and I feel like that's what the main guy on the right was for. I don't know what the chick in the middle was for.
Well, judging by the end, I actually think that Wrath, which is the porno guy, I can't remember her name, because his name was Judge Hope, his name was Judge Wrath, and then I don't remember her name. But I want to say she was actually the singer.
Or maybe she was. I don't know.
And he did like the game shows and the talk shows and kind of stuff like that. Because based on the end, that would make sense.
Yeah.
But we'll get
there in a minute. So she sings. They're like, you have a really good voice. Yeah. You have a really good voice. We don't have room for singers. Grace, it's great you came out and did all this. You spent all this money. We don't have any more room for singers right now.
No.
We're not going to have room for singers for a couple years.
That would probably explain why that chick had been waiting for 2 weeks. Because she said, I have a beautiful voice. I am a better singer than anyone. And she just walks in and gets to go. That's not fair.
We get to hear that in the end.
Yes.
So they're like, well, we can't do that. And of course, Judge Wrath immediately like, well, you can come over here.
You have this innocent vibe going on that, people would really get into because all we have is pretty much everything else going on already. You have something new, something different you can add. And of course, during this entire thing, behind the judges, you just see millions of little avatars sitting there watching.
Everyone's watching.
And it does flip back and forth between people actually sitting in their rooms watching this. And so, of course, he's like, hey, you should come to the porn side. And, like, there's people sitting in their rooms that you've seen throughout the show that are like, yes. Yeah.
So She's extremely hesitant, but eventually says fine.
Yes, and I wonder, could it be because she drank this
compliance? Huh, very interesting. Very interesting name of a drink.
Yeah,
So, she accepts this.
Yes.
I
think
Bing gets he gets held back because I think he wants to go out there and say something.
Because everybody's cheering, do it, do it, do it. And you hear him off to the side. He's like, no, don't. And you can see him kind of, and everyone. And she keeps like looking to the side at him and he's getting like pulled off or hauled off or whatever. And she's just like, and then just says yes. So.
Yeah, ends up saying yes. Which makes him unhappy. And then, the next thing we see, happens immediately after, it goes back to him. And he's very unhappy.
I don't know. Is that when he pretty much gung-ho decides that he's gonna...
Because I think he's in his room again. He's depressed. I think he ends up... Yeah, I think he's furious. Well, once they show a preview of her on his screen, he gets furious and tries to beat the walls in.
Oh my goodness.
Also, something slightly forgot to mention a little earlier. On their way down to the competitive room, where they had to wait or go through, earlier, she had made a origami penguin.
Yes.
Out of, like, the food wrapper.
Yeah.
You can't have anything, and she'd put up on the little bike, and it kept getting taken away. He's like, I have to. And he throws it away. And eventually she makes one, and keeps it.
Yes.
She puts, like, the waistband of her pants. And she hands it to him on the way down.
Yes.
So you can have this, and you can keep it in the waistband of your pants.
Yeah, it folds down and fits nicely into your waistband.
Yes. So he ends up beating the room up, breaking some of the glass for sure. At some point, he sees the penguin. He goes to put it underneath his mattress. I don't know when that exactly happens. But when he does that, you see he kept her compliance cup.
I forgot about that.
So the one that she drank, he picked up and kept as well as the penguin she had. So
kind of creepy-ish.
A little bit.
A little obsessive, but
it works out for him. So he's angry, and he's like, I don't know why he decides, but he decides he's going to get the money back.
Yes.
To go back on this show.
Yes.
Earlier in the episode, when he tried to give it to her, she said, what is that, like 6 months of biking?
Yeah.
So he gives it his all. He starts rationing to just everything.
Yes.
Like we said earlier, it takes 1 merit to get a hint of toothpaste on your brush. So he does 1 merit of that. He watches any and every ad. He skips nothing.
Yeah.
He doesn't buy food unless he has to. He uses the little trap door or the... when apples get hung in the vending machine, he just lets people walk off because they can't get their food, and he takes their food. Or he'll take leftover food and eat it, and he's saving. He's biking and biking and biking and trying to get that money. We just get this montage of him just going and going. And the merit's building higher and higher.
Yes. His aim is he is going to get on that show.
Yes, it's going to happen.
That has to be it. He's going to buy another ticket. He's going to get there and just let them have it. So... it's like thoughts going whee.
So yes, we get that. I'm trying to have any other notes. God, I've removed all my notes without me even having to really look at them. Really.
Well, pretty much he ends up like he of course makes it.
Of course he does.
Yeah, of course he does.
He finally bikes to 15 million, or just right over 15 million.
Yes.
And he stops. He's done. I'm good. I got what I need to get.
Yes.
He goes back to his room and he buys this ticket to get back on the show. Of course, I forgot to mention that. When he was beating in his wall and broke the glass screen, he picked up a shard, a very large shard of, glass, like that. And he hides that, I guess, with everything else. And he buys his little ticket. And he heads to the office, where he has the glass shard in his waistband behind his back.
It's like, I assume, if he didn't know it before, she definitely gave him ideas of where to hide stuff now.
Yeah. The waistband seems to be where it's at. And they seem to have a metal detector.
Yes, because I remember them walking through it when they went into the competition room too. Like, first it was... right at the desk when she put the little star, which I never... What was the star again?
It was a stamp. It was showing that he was a guest.
Yes.
Her guest.
And apparently it hurt, though, because when she put it on there, he's like, ow.
Well, they talk about it'd be on there for months.
Yeah. It's pretty much an instant tattoo.
Yes.
It's like, okay.
Pretty insane.
But yeah, they go through a metal detector there, and then they go through another one into the actual competition room, too.
Yeah. Because when he goes through his glass, of course, that doesn't do anything because it's glass. It's not metal.
It's like, what kind of metal were they expecting for, like...
Yeah, I don't know. There's not much you can get out of this place. There's almost nothing you can grab and break off a piece of the machine or something. So we end up getting to the back, and he's waiting, and then they're like, oh, you need a dark one?
A dark one. A dark one.
They said somewhere like, okay. Because he, I think it's like the only black guy back there. I think so. And it's like, so you go straight to him, and they want to preview you.
Yeah.
And they go back like, you're gonna have to take one of these. And it's a compliance. And it's like, I already took one. They gave me to it out there.
Oh, I forgot about that. I was wondering why. Oh my god. See, there's little things that I'm starting to forget, and it's not good.
Yeah, it's very much so. He's like, they gave me one out there. It's like, I was not really supposed to, but okay, that's fine. And they go on. So he doesn't have to drink one of these compliance, and he just drops it on the ground.
Yeah.
And the girl's like,
yeah.
It's like, I don't want to pick that up.
Next thing you know, it's like, then they're like, well, you need a second one. Just
yeah, just in case.
when your plan falls apart.
Exactly. So he gets out there, and...
What are you going to be doing for us
Exactly.
today?
And I don't remember what he says, but he does this, like, weird dance.
Well, what else could you describe
I
it
mean,
as?
he busts the move. That's what he does.
Did they even have a dancing show?
I don't even know. But that's what he did. And like, okay. And then out of nowhere, he grabs the glass shard and holds it up to his throat.
Yes.
And like, you're going to listen to me. If anyone comes out here, I'm going to kill myself.
Yes.
You're going to listen.
This is going to be good for your ratings, just...
Sure it is. And all the millions of avatars, probably not millions, but thousands of avatars are watching and watching and watching, and everyone's happy about this. Like, all right, buddy, all right, what do you have to say? And he just goes on this rant, this angry, mean rant. Something like we would do at work. We're angry.
Why does this sound so familiar? And that's one of the big things that popped into my head. It's like, you go, buddy. You go.
Very relatable. And it's just him being upset with this place and this world and everything being digital and there's nothing physical and you can't do anything.
He wants real.
Exactly. He wants something real. And he gets to his rant and doesn't have anything else to say. But they're like, really like you. You have something real about you. I think we could put you on a show.
And that's why I thought maybe it was the woman in charge of the singing, because he's the one that did the offer of,
it's possible.
like, hey, I want you to do a show where you just rant about the system, about everything that's messed up around here.
And I don't think he doesn't give his answer there before they fade out.
Of course.
But
yeah.
it's like, well,
you'd think it'd be better, like, even if it's just...
He's upset, he's mad, but he got a show out of it. This works out pretty well.
It's something real, something different. He can kind of...
So, the next thing we see are these people on their bikes again, and then you see him with this shard of glass at his throat again, just going on this rant. That's his show. This rant is his show. And he talks about it, and he gets to the end, and he's like, until next week. And it's just like, calmly stops.
Apparently they realized that shard of glass made the viewing difference. Just like...
Well, it feels real, it feels angry.
Yeah.
And, but then it's like, well, it's over. Okay, until next week. That's all I've got. The transition was so weird. And he takes this little shard of glass and he puts it in this very special box where he's now in this very, very empty room, but it's like 10 times bigger than the room he was in before.
Yeah.
And he puts down the glass. And they zoom out a little bit, and there's a wooden penguin sitting on the table. It's like, that's nifty. That's oddly reminiscent of that paper penguin that he had from her. for them not having anything real, it's interesting to see a trinket.
Yeah.
Like a little statue. It's very interesting to have that sitting there.
It brings a lot of questions. Like, well, do they actually get to like, once you move on to a show, do you still get to communicate to people like you used to? Like, I mean, being that the room was empty, it's like, do you still have the chance to send your avatar places and talk to people? Like, did he ever talk to her again? Or is this kind of just...
We don't know. And that is the biggest thing about this episode. We just don't know so much. They throw you in a world, they don't explain the world. It's just one of those things. Hey, the characters know what's going on, and if they don't feel they need to mention anything about the world, they don't.
Yeah.
So you're just in this world experiencing what's going on, and it's just this foreign place.
Yes, you get fully submersed with... I don't know. It makes you wonder, do these people even have the answers? Like, the characters in the show?
I feel like they do to a degree. I feel like there are things that are said. I feel like they're 100% aware of what's going on and why it's going on. And they don't like it.
Yeah.
But it is the way the world is. And but they don't explain it because they don't have someone new who doesn't know. There'd be no reason for them to tell you, the audience, why it's there. But it's very interesting. It's also interesting. One of the more interesting shots to me in the episode is when he's talking to her. Because the entire episode's in like, oh, we're in this little box, or in the bike room, or in the bathroom, or in the judge's room. One time do they turn the camera and peer out over this ledge, and you see thousands of people on bikes, or tens of thousands of people riding bikes, which is either you're in this huge cavern where all these different layers and people are everywhere riding bikes, or it's in some weird building that the levels is just open through the center. But it was a very interesting shot. It made the world feel not so small as it did, but when they turned, it's like, oh, there's so many people here.
And to me, like, the technology and everything that went, like, one, you said that he did talk to someone about what it was powering, but at the same time, with that many people, it kind of reminds me of, like, the hamster in the wheel. That's
kind of what it is.
But, I don't know, just for me... I think my favorite part of the my favorite part of the episode was the rooster. You know,
the rooster.
No, the funny thing is that he does have a alarm clock in the morning, and it's just this rooster that jumps up and crows, and he can actually swat it across the room.
Everything we saw in this episode, everything, I feel could happen right now. Nothing. It didn't seem, in ways, it seems like okay, these are things that are definitely more in the future. But nothing there was out of the, like, way dystopian. No. It just seems futuristic because they played so many screens and they tried their best to make it feel future. But everything they did in the show, we have the technology to do right now.
Yes.
Nothing there was out of the ordinary.
No. Because, I mean, we've seen, like, even in even in funny movies and stuff, we've seen people have, like, bicycles or whatever, where when they pedal, it powers a light bulb or something like that.
That's so possible. It's like, the screen rooms are possible. Yes. The hand motions to move things are possible. I mean, there's nothing here was out of, like, way. This is something that could happen.
Yeah.
Even though we don't know what it is.
And then it makes you think, is this happening underneath our feet?
Probably not. But no. Probably not. But I did enjoy the episode. I did think it was good.
Yes.
I don't really have any much more to say about it. I think we've gone over it pretty thoroughly.
It pretty much, besides all the questions of what about this, what happened here, it pretty much rounds itself out. Like, he wants something real. He doesn't probably get as real as he wants, but he gets out of routine.
Yes, he gets out of routine. It's something different.
Yes.
So, like I said, not as dark. She did end up in a good place. He ended up in a better place. So, I mean, it ended up worse for her.
Yeah.
Which you can kind of say is it might be better for her in the end. Because she's not in the place she was, but...
And at the same time, as bad as it is for her, because of her, he did get to the place that he did.
Yeah, it helped him, but he may have screwed her.
Yeah.
Not literally.
Are you sure?
Not that we saw. Unless it was in that co-ed bathroom at some point.
But yes, that's about it then.
So, I enjoyed the episode. I thought it was really good. Not as deep as the first episode, but much lighter than the first episode.
I wouldn't say there was no moral, but it was more of the first episode. It was a tough decision. It was intense. This one, it was sort of just a story.
It was a nice little story to watch, and it was, like I said, much lighter. So that was nice. Enjoyable after that first dark episode. I can't wait till we get to the next episode, though, in 2 weeks. Because that's what I'm looking forward to. I'm really liking it. It's something very, very different. It's something that I could possibly see us getting to, but we're definitely not there yet. So it'll be interesting to see you watch it and us discuss it, because I'm very interested in that episode. Okay. But next week will be episode 3 of the Twilight Zone, which is called... Did you look?
I actually did not look, so I don't know. What about...
About what?
I don't know.
Well, that is, for the most part, I think she's going to look up this episode. I'm going to round this out here.
We're so organized.
Always organized. We got a few new shows. We've got What's in the Box, which will be coming out in a couple of days, come out Friday. And we have a new book review, kind of like this, but about a book. And a lot longer. That'll be out on Mondays.
Yes, that will actually be probably one of our longest
videos. Much longer videos. But it's about the Dark Tower series. If you have any interest, that'd be awesome. Follow us along with that.
Okay. Next week's Twilight Zone episode is called Mr. Denton on Doomsday.
I did read that. I forgot about it, but I did read that. Mr. Denton on...
The town drunk in the Old West faces his past when fate lends a hand.
We'll find out. I'm curious. Looking forward to that. As always, you can reach us on Twitter at BJJGamer, KZPup, the show at Beyond Our Focus, and reach us on podcast services, a whole bunch of them, including Spotify, Stitcher, Overcast, Google Podcast, and Anchor. Yeah. So there's a couple other ones. All that's posted down below in the description.
Also, as of yesterday, we've officially launched our Facebook page. So we'll be posting updates, just random little things. If anytime we're filming, you can go over and send us a message. And
you can do that there. You can do it on the Twitter. And then also, if you want to follow us over on Instagram, we've started posting some more behind-the-scenes stuff on Instagram.
You'll see a lot more of our mascot.
Yes, she'll be there. And she's so pretty. She's so pretty. You're so pretty. Yes, you are. I know.
Yeah.
But that is all we've got for today.
Let us know what you think. Let us know what you think about the episode for sure.
For sure. Leave a comment, leave a like, leave a dislike, whatever you feel you need to do. But I believe that is it. We're losing the table. So until next time, be well.